All right, imagine it's your first day on a new job. But this isn't just any job, it's the most important job in the entire nation. Everybody is watching you. Every single move is being scrutinized. And to top it all off, your boss has just promised a literal miracle, but only if you do everything exactly right. Well, that was a reality for Aaron, Israel's very first high priest. So let's dive into this incredible story verse by verse. You know, this one sentence spoken by Moses just hangs over this entire chapter. It sets the stakes impossibly high. This isn't just about going through the motions of a ceremony, it's a divine appointment. The pressure must have been immense. So first up, we have what I like to call the morning briefing. These are the crucial, high-stakes instructions given right at dawn that set the stage for everything that's about to unfold. Okay, verse 1. The story kicks off on the 8th day. Now, this is a big deal because it marks the end of a whole week of priestly ordination. You can just feel the tension in the air as Moses, his face all business, calls this huddle. He's got the whole leadership team there, Aaron, his sons, and all the elders of Israel. You can just tell something massive is about to happen. Now, in verse 2, Moses looks directly at Aaron. This is his personal assignment. He's basically saying, before you can even think about representing the people, you have to get right with God yourself. Just picture a close-up on Aaron's face, really taking in this command. He needs a perfect young bull for his own shortcomings and a perfect ram to show his complete devotion. This has to happen first. So in verses 3 and 4, the focus widens out to the entire nation. The shopping list of offerings you see here is huge. This is a massive national event. And then Moses makes the promise public, sending a jolt through the crowd with those words that define the whole day. Today, the Lord will appear to you. In verses 5 and 6, you see the plan kick into gear. The whole scene, it just comes to life. Animals are being led forward. A huge crowd gathers in this hushed silence right in front of the brand new tabernacle. And then Moses' voice just cuts through it all, confirming the stakes one last time. He makes it crystal clear. Your obedience is directly connected to this promise of seeing God's glory. And then we get to verse 7. Man, this is it. The briefing is over. Moses turns to Aaron and gives him the final green light. Go to the altar. Try to picture the shot from just behind Aaron's shoulder. He's looking at this imposing bronze altar, the center of everything. You can almost feel him take a deep breath. It's time. Time to step into his role as high priest for the very first time. So now we get to Aaron's personal offering. And what's really fascinating here is the order of events. Before he can represent anyone else, he has to go through this whole process for himself. Every single step has to be perfect. And this sets up a huge principle, right? That leadership has to be accountable first, before it can even try to lead. Verse 8. Aaron doesn't hesitate for a second. He walks straight to the altar and kills the calf, his own sin offering. It's a swift, solemn, decisive action. You realize this isn't just some empty ritual. It's a deeply personal moment where he is confronting his own imperfection before God. Then in verse 9, it's all about precision. His sons, they're like his assistants. They bring him this basin of blood. And let's just zoom in on the action. Aaron dips his finger into this crimson liquid and very deliberately touches each of the 4 golden horns on the altar's corners. It's such a powerful, symbolic act, applying atonement right to the place of sacrifice. And then the rest of the blood gets poured out right at the foundation. Verses 10 and 11. Okay, check this out, because a really important separation happens here. Picture 2 different scenes. First, you see the most valuable parts, the internal fat, the kidneys, being placed on the altar, with smoke billowing straight up to heaven. Then you cut to a totally different scene. The rest of the animal, the flesh, the hide, is taken way outside the camp and completely destroyed by fire. It's this powerful visual that shows the separation between what's holy and offered to God and what is not. Now, in verses 12 through 14, he moves on to his second personal sacrifice, the ram for the burnt offering. What's happening here is the sequence of really focused, methodical actions. He kills the ram. He takes the blood and sprinkles it against all the sides of the altar. He butchers the animal, washes the specified parts, and then places every single piece on the altar to be totally consumed. This is all about symbolizing his complete and total devotion. So, what we've just seen is this really clear pattern, right? First, Aaron dealt with his sin. Second, he showed his complete devotion. And soon, he'll complete it all with a peace offering. He's now personally ready to do it all over again, but this time it's for an entire nation.
His personal duty is now complete. So Aaron turns and faces the nation. This next phase is all about his offering for the people, where he's now standing as their representative before God.
In verses 15 through 17, the scale just shifts dramatically. You can almost see the camera pan from Aaron at the altar out to the thousands of faces watching his every move. And he repeats the exact same pattern of offerings we just saw, one for sin, one for devotion, and the grain offering, but this time he's doing it on behalf of everyone. Verses 18 to 20, here come the final sacrifices for the people, the peace offerings. And notice the teamwork now. His sons are right there, efficiently assisting him. And focus on this really specific physical detail they mention. They place the best fatty portions right on top of the breast meat before they burn the fat. It's this tangible sign that they're giving the absolute best part to God. Then, verse 21 introduces a really unique part of the whole ceremony, the wave offering. So just picture Aaron holding these two prime cuts of meat, the breast and the right thigh. He stands before the tabernacle, and he ceremonially lifts and waves them in a special motion. It's a gesture that presents these portions to God before they're given to the priest to eat.
Okay, all the steps have been followed. The sacrifices are all complete. The air is just thick with anticipation. The people are waiting. Remember, they were promised an appearance from God, and this is the moment of truth.
Verse 22. His work at the altar is finally done. We see this incredible wide shot. Aaron, standing on the elevated platform of the altar, turns to the whole nation. He stretches his hands out over the silent, expectant crowd, and he pronounces a blessing. It's a powerful moment of completion, a benediction. Then, in verse 23, something unexpected happens. Moses and Aaron, they disappear together into the holy tabernacle itself. The crowd just has to wait in this quiet suspense. What is happening in there? Then they reemerge and they bless the people a second time. And that's when it happens. A brilliant, supernatural light begins to shine, a visible radiance that every single person there can see. The glory of the Lord has arrived. And now, the climax. The first part of verse 24. From the center of that glorious light, a bolt of fire erupts, and it is an explosive, instantaneous flash. It strikes the altar, and in a single second, it completely incinerates the offerings. This is no normal fire. This is divine power made visible. It's God's own stamp of approval on the sacrifice. And the final shot of our story is the second part of verse 24. Just picture this low-angle view from the ground, looking up at the crowd. The instant that fire hits, a single unified sound erupts from thousands of people, a shout that's a mix of pure terror and absolute awe. And as one, the entire nation just drops to the ground, falling on their faces in worship. Think about that for a second. They didn't cheer, they didn't clap. They saw the raw power and holiness of God, and it drove them to the ground. Their first instinct in this incredible divine encounter was just overwhelming, reverent awe. So what does that moment reveal about the relationship between a holy God, accountable leadership, and a community just standing in absolute wonder?